Anderson Cooper 360, weeknights at 8 and 10 on CNN.
A 360 exclusive now. Tonight, the family of Reeva Steenkamp is breaking their silence for the first time since her killer, Oscar Pistorius, was freed on bail. Steenkamp's uncle and cousin both agreed to talk on camera to investigative correspondent Drew Griffin in South Africa. Now, Drew's been digging into Pistorius' past, and what he's found is really very much at odds with the athlete's public image. In Drew's report last night, former friends of the track star described a man who was often drinking, angry, and armed.
He would have a trip switch and he'd get violent and angry and he'd fight with people and he'd cause a lot of problems. It's like, wow, we were waiting for something like this to happen,
Well, Pistorius claims he shot Reeva Steenkamp because he thought she was an intruder. He says he loved her deeply, but was the love mutual? Steenkamp's cousin talked to Drew about that, and what she told him is pretty surprising. Equally surprising what Steenkamp's uncle has to say. Here's Drew's report.
The interview took place inside the Cape Town home Reeva often stayed, in the back room of her cousin's, Kim Martin's. It is where we interviewed her and Reeva's uncle.
Has the family now realized emotionally what has happened?
You sort of wake up in the morning expecting Reeva still to give a phone call.
It's easier to deal with it if you don't concentrate on anything else other than the fact that Reeva's not here, and at the end of the day she's not coming back.
What the family says it does not want to concentrate on is just why Reeva Steenkamp is not coming back. She died in the home and at the hands of her boyfriend Oscar Pistorius. He is charged with murder, awaiting trial for what he has called an accidental shooting. Kim Martin says she was as close to Reeva as a sister. There were no secrets. She knew the couple were dating. She also knew Reeva was not in love.
And then I knew that in time she would chat to me about it.
But she never did.
No, she never did.
January 2nd on Small Bay in Cape Town, Kim and her daughters finally did meet him at this seaside cafe. It was the only time she ever met Oscar Pistorius. He barely made an impact.
It wasn't long enough to form an opinion on his personality, Typical Reeva, her and I were chatting and the kids. So, and what I saw of him, and the bit that we did speak, he was nice. He did seem like a nice guy.
You still think that?
I don't really want to comment on that.
In what now seems an ominous event, we now know Reeva's own mother had met Oscar Pistorius too, at least by phone. Oscar and Reeva were driving on a highway, and Oscar, prone to fast cars, was supposedly speeding.
She phoned her mom and said to her mom, "Mom, Oscar's speeding." So June took the phone and said, "Let me speak to Oscar." And said to Oscar, "Hey, listen, that's my precious, my only daughter, my precious daughter. And that's everything, that's my angel. And you better slow down. Otherwise I will get the mafia onto you afterwards." And Reeva said afterwards, "Mom, you slow down."
Now the family, including Reeva's parents Barry and June, are trying to come to grips with a lot of tales from the past. Former friends of Pistorius speaking out about anger, rage, and guns. Early signs that police may have mishandled the crime scene. And the fact that Oscar Pistorius, who's admitted killing Reeva in an accidental shooting, is now free from jail awaiting trial.
The less I hear about it, all the other stuff, the better.
None of us are going to be represented at the court and the trial. None of us in family are going to go up. We won't be present. I can tell you that now. And for that reason, it's not about the court case. It's about Reeva.
It would be too painful. But choking back tears, Mike Steenkamp did say he one day does want to meet the man who killed his niece.
I would like to be face to face with him and forgive him. Forgive him what he's done. And that way I can find most probably more peace with the situation. But tell him face to face.
And you would forgive him,
yeah,
Mike, whether this was a tragic accident or whether this was a murder?
Whatever the outcome, I feel with my belief, and if Christ could forgive when he died on the cross, why can't I?
You must have seen the reports about things in his past that have come out. Is there any reaction to any of that?
The least I know from the outside the better for myself. That right or wrong, I'm still focused on the one thing, is forgiveness, and I'm not going to change from that.
As for what happens to Oscar Pistorius, it doesn't matter, says Steenkamp. Nothing will bring Reeva back. Drew Griffin, CNN, Cape Town, South Africa.